Hi, welcome back to the slums of the internet. I'm Destiny, and today we're revisiting something that I actually forgot about for a while, but not really. Like, it's always been in the back of my mind, but it's coming forward today. So, for anyone who's been watching my videos for a while, which that's gonna be like maybe 3% of the population of the world, not even. Last year or the year before last, I'm pretty sure it was last year, I decided that I wanted to write a horror/sci-fi book, and I got about like 50,000 words in, and almost 60, and I just stopped multiple times. I have 4 or 5 different drafts, outlines, a Pinterest board. I literally, like, I was building my life around this book for 4 months, and hopefully, like, in the future, I do want to finish this book. I want to restart it and do something that I'm happy with. But the problem with this book, the reason I didn't finish the multiple times I started, is because, first of all, I'm trying to figure out the time period, because it was supposed to be set in 1983, and it was supposed to be set like in the early 2010s, and it was supposed to be set like now in 2024 or 2030. But whatever the case may be, I never finished it. Once a week, I probably think about this book. And just yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I accidentally like stumbled upon my old Pinterest board for it, and I was like, okay, well, I definitely could make a video out of this. Instead of looking at the Pinterest board and going through like all the stuff that I made, I decided to wait until I made this video. So strap in, be excited, act like you care. I'm pretty sure this was the book I was writing for NaNoWriMo 2 years ago, and I have like 4 or 5 videos documenting that. And then there's like this hour-long video on my channel called Unnamed Robotic Reading, and that is what I had so far before I stopped writing. I was gonna wait until the sun came up to record this video, but like in the middle of the night seems like the perfect time to record a video like this. Just a little bit of background information. The book was named Unnamed for a while because I didn't figure out a name for it, like the protagonist or the antagonist. Well, the antagonist. I haven't had a name for the antagonist, so it's just named Unnamed until I came up with a name for it. I had a vision for them. I had timelines. I have yet to actually write the book. Alternate universes and powers. I'm not even sure where to start. I think I'll start with the Pinterest board and the outlines. These are just random people too, so credit to them. I don't know. Here is my Pinterest board that I made for the characters. As you can see, I got not too far because I just did it to show what the characters look like. I didn't even like make any boards or sub boards for locations, which I wanted to do, and I think I'll end up doing at some point. But we have friends, and then like friends because that's how I imagine 2 of the characters being. And then we have Evan, Silas, Castro, Euryxie, Hannah, Priya, and Donna. Those are not all the main characters because we're still missing a few. Some of these are unsorted, which just ignore that. So I'm gonna look at friends first. I only got 2 pins for this, but the first one with the 2 girls is supposed to be our 2 main characters, Priya and Donna. And then the second one with the lady hugging the guy is supposed to be the main characters, Priya and Castro, which they are childhood best friends. Their parents were best friends. They were raised like literally next door to each other. So it's like giving Boy Next Door heavy. But don't be fooled because they're only supposed to be friends because her love interest is supposed to be Donna. Next we have Evan. He's like kind of a character that was spur of the moment because I wanted to add more lore, and he definitely does add more lore because, like I said, it's kind of Stranger Things-esque. So there is like something to do with the lab and something that happened to his parents and something that happened to his sister, and there's like a reason that he came to town. I think the one that looks most like him is this guy because I have 2 pictures of this guy. I think he's the one that looks the most like how I envision Evan. In the book, Evan is supposed to be mute or selectively mute. He doesn't talk to everyone, and I think his powers was like to like read minds or something. To be honest, I definitely forgot. I'm gonna need a refresher. We have our next character, Silas, who's supposed to be based off of like Styles from Teen Wolf. He is supposed to be one of the older of the group. He's like 16 or 17, and he has went to like this alternate universe, and he's like the only person that came back intact. I say that the one that looks the most like him is this guy, and from TikTok, I have no idea who this guy is. I have never looked up his at, but I saved a lot of pictures of this guy, and you know, I feel like this is what my character looks like. This is Silas come to life, and you know, his personality type, I never got the chance to write him. Ooh, my voice cracked. I never got the chance to write him, so I can't really say what his personality type is. Next, we have Castrell. There's like I got a lot of pictures of Castrell because he like you can really not go wrong with him because he's just a white guy with blonde hair. But I try to do like curly blonde hair. Let me see. I think the one that looks most like him. I know one of these is a woman. I had no idea, but I mean she's a cutie patootie. Well, two of these, a couple of these actually. But sometimes women look like prepubescent boys. Is that bad to say? I want to say the one that looks the most like him is either this guy or that other picture that I was just looking at. This one. I feel like those are the ones that look the most like him. And I think I'm going to end up just putting them on screen. Next is Euryxie. She is supposed to be a friend of the main characters, but not really. Like, she just comes in at some point and then she's just attached to all of them. Euryxie is supposed to be like this cheerleader, mixed cheerleader. The picture that looks the most like her to me is like this one. I was like seriously obsessed when I saw this picture because I was like, okay, that's literally my girl. Like, then we have Hannah, who is the older sister of our main character, and she went missing when they were younger. I think the one that looks the most like her is probably either this one with the lady with the red jacket or the newest one that I got, this one. She imagination come to life, you know what I mean? Next we have our main character Priya, and I actually had to like kind of make what I feel like she looks like. I'll put it on the screen here because like as many people as I looked at, I couldn't find someone that was like, yeah, that's her. But these are the people that I have for Priya, and I think the one that looks the most like her is definitely this girl, Kaya. Apparently that's her name. She looks like how I imagine, because I imagine Priya is like kind of a little bit dark skin, curly hair, but like afroed. You know what I mean. So these are like the couple pictures that I feel like look the most like her, and yeah, that's all I had to say about that. But sometimes I just like look back at these pictures and I'm like, dang, those are my kids. Crazy. Next is Donna. Donna is her best friend that goes missing in the first chapter, and the one I think that looks the most like her, I've been collecting so many pictures of her, but this lady here, I really like the way she looks, and I'm saying that she's my Donna. If not her, then this girl. This is like my official fan cast. It sounds crazy saying fan cast because she doesn't exist, but this is my fan cast version for her. This is what I imagine she looks like. I have like a whole bunch of other unsorted ones that I just never got the chance to put together, but I'm sure that I did Noah Butcher. His last name is Butcher, the police officer. I'm pretty sure I did him. Like, I found a face cast for him. Oh, and didn't. Okay, well, I thought I did. So a lot of these are unsorted because like there's some characters that I have names for, but I haven't made sections for yet. Stuff like that. That's my Pinterest board of them. I'm definitely going to be adding more into the future if and when I start working on this book again. But like, nobody cares. That's all I had to say for that. That's what that is. Next, I want to show the outline, and this is the outline I wrote like after I wrote the first chapter. And I think like the second chapter, and I was just like, okay, I'm so lost. I need to figure out what I'm doing. So the book was going to be split into 4 parts, and each part was going to be 20 chapters long, if I remember correctly. Like, it's supposed to be like a timeline, like it starts in October, and I'm not sure when it's supposed to end. But we have part 1 and then chapter 1, and I just put bullet points of what was going to happen. Okay, it's getting choppy, but I just put bullet points of what I wanted to happen, and like dialogue that I wanted to include. And I got up to part I got up to a good amount, and then when you see N1D, the our character that went missing, Donna, she's supposed to have interludes like every few chapters or at the end of every chapter, and so that's what that was supposed to be. And then sometimes we have like perspective changes, like here 7 Cass, it switches to Cass's perspective for a little bit after they have like an argument or something. I'm not really reading this, I'm just showing it. And yeah, I did not realize I got this far. I got to 11 chapters. I had no idea. And then we have another interlude, which I'm not sure who that even is. I think that before I renamed Silas, I think his name's like John or something. But also, these are like the locations that they go to. And this is like a section that I wanted to include in the book, but I'm not sure where I'm gonna include it. So like I wrote this down as it came to my head though, because I didn't want to lose it. This is my first official draft. This is the first thing I wrote. I had to go digging to find this, but this is, like you can see, 91 chapters, and it's 57,000 words, I think, or so, or a little bit more. I wrote this for days, like literally days, and when I stopped writing, I had no idea who I was anymore. Yeah, the love that went into this book, no one understands. But then I wrote this. This is like probably out of order, really, but I ended up writing this because I was trying to rewrite it once again. Like, the amount of times I try to rewrite this book, I'll tell you, at some point I'm just gonna outline the book literally and figure it out and actually write it. But yeah, this is what I wrote, and then I stopped here on page 4, and I think this is the same me trying to rewrite it. It's like I could never get the same feeling as I got the first time that I wrote it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I kept trying to rewrite it and it's just not the same. So you see, I went with a different approach on this one. No indentations or anything. Chapter 1, fall of 1983. So instead of going with that Stephen King-esque style of, part 1 of chapter 1, part 2 of chapter 2, part 10 of chapter 1, and then finally moving on to chapter 2, I thought that I would just, try a different approach, try my own writing style. Here's what happened. Okay, we got fall of 1983. And then we go from, instead of going from the perspective of the kids like I've been starting with, I start from the perspective of the mom. Manera Green wasn't popular. It wasn't a secret. In fact, it was very well known throughout the school. So I honestly don't even remember writing this, but I must have. And can you imagine? Times New Roman, size 11, no indentations or anything. It's crazy. That's as far as I got with that. I guess that could be a prologue or something. I don't know. Version 3, and you can see I put my name on it. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be the one. And I got to the prologue, and I wrote that, and I was having a good time. And then I got to chapter 1, and I wrote, but at that point I was like, okay, this is still not the same. It's like trying to find that same high, and I'm not getting it. Then this is like the last attempt that I had at writing it before I completely forgot. And it's part 1, the diary, and because in the story Donna leaves something behind, because whenever someone goes missing they have to leave something behind. It's like a rule of thumb for the story. And so I start off with a letter from her diary. May 1989. I think I pushed it a few years. That's what I was talking about when I was saying that I was trying to figure out the timeline, because it started like they were all born in 1970 and then she went missing in 1983, but then I tried to push it back and make them like 16, make them older. And so this is like May 1989, and this is supposed to be like leading up to her disappearance, and there's supposed to be like a big reveal or something. Did I ever figure out what that was? And I wrote a good amount for this. I did not realize I wrote so much until I looked back. I have tried to write it under different names. Like I tried writing it under something called New Draft twice, and yeah, so that's just like the death of my creativity, the death of my book before it even got started. to someone, this is gonna sound interesting. Someone's gonna care. It was short-lived. It was fun while it lasted. I guess that's what I'm gonna say. That's the takeaway from this. I'm gonna open New Draft 2 and then I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna go to sleep. New Draft. This is the New Draft after the first New Draft, because you can see it says 2. I didn't even go looking for 1, let's be honest. I thought maybe the title was the problem and I tried switching names. So here's Act 1, prologue. And I tried starting off with Donna's mom. Oh, I also tried to show the established relationship between Officer Butcher and Donna's mom. I think I really got that from the relationship between Hopper and Joyce in Stranger Things, because they were like not high school sweethearts, but they definitely had a thing for each other. I think, you know, they were in high school together, they noticed each other, but they weren't with each other. So that's like the kind of give and take relationship that I was going for with them. And I actually got pretty far, I think, in writing this. I got up to part 4 of chapter 1, and this, I'm not gonna blur anything out, like, because this story for me right now feels like a lost cause until I actually like sit down one day and take the time to outline it, and I'm sure I'm going to record it then. We start off with the secretary letting him know that Mary Harrison is there to see him, and they talk a little bit, and like barely, but they talk a little bit, and she's like, you owe me this, if anything, and I haven't figured out why. Isn't it crazy, like, as the author, I'm supposed to know this stuff, but I have no clue. I have no idea. I backtracked again and I put it as 1983, and then this is part 1, and it's like every time it's kind of like a rewrite of the first book, like not anything fresh. Then we get to part 2, and I think this is like the first time that I was able to introduce Euryxie organically, like instead of having her kind of weasel her way in or like randomly pop up. I kind of had it to where she is helping them on their search, because there is like a search party looking for Donna after hours, of course. And so I kind of feel like I introduced her better this time, because she's like, well, there's been this rumor going around, but I thought you knew. And then there's like, she's like, there's ears listening on the street, like we can't trust anyone. I can't tell you right here, you'll have to come back with me. And I stopped there. I think one day I'm going to reread all of the drafts and be able to put something together, like a story that makes sense when I figure out what the story is. And I definitely think I'm going to revisit this one day. I'm just not sure when that day is going to be. Thank you for listening to me ramble about this book that I have not written, that I hope to write in the future. I hope this video is fun. This is just like a little something for me to come back, kind of weasel my way back into the YouTube channel, because it has been like months since I posted. And while I am working on like 2 other videos right now, I just wanted to get something out soon. And also, this book has been like on my mind for days, like since I accidentally stumbled across my Pinterest board. This has been on my mind, and I just wanted to share it. Let me know if you want an in-depth video of the lore and stuff, which I'm probably gonna do anyway. Even if nobody asked for it, I'm probably gonna end up doing it anyway. But yeah, like I said, thanks for watching. I'll see ya in the next video. Bye bye. Hi, and welcome to whoever is still here, if there is anyone still here. I wanted to show this in the video, but I completely forgot the name of the file. But this is my character sheets and my outlines for my book. Obviously, my book, what else would it be for? But these are like the characters that I made in Artbreeder, and some of them are like people that I found on Pinterest, and that's like their names, their ages, you know, their genders, their occupations, background, family, appearance, just like everything that I really need to know in order to write these characters in character. And also it includes the timelines of the missing people and when they went missing, which I need to add more people to that table anyway, as well as let me think. I think it also adds the outline. I did an outline for part 1 and part 2 with different POVs and like full, like big old boxes just full of chunky information for chapter after chapter. And I think that's how I got up to part 4 of chapter 1 in that last draft that I just showed you. Yeah, that's all I had to say. So yeah, since I made this video and since I've seen the Pinterest board, it just like reawakened something in me. And so they're like, get ready for a video series of me rewriting this book and actually finishing it. I know that video is going to be at least an hour long, or it's going to be multiple hours because there's going to be multiple videos of it. And I'm gonna start with redoing my Pinterest board, redoing the outlines, and making an outline to begin with, making tables, and making another character chart. So if you are interested in that and you want to see me write a book from scratch and maybe actually publish it one day, then stick around, because I'm sure that it's gonna happen in the future. Not sure if it's gonna happen in the distant future or the near future, but whatever the case may be, I am gonna try. Also, I just forgot to mention this in the video. This book is based off of It by Stephen King, Stranger Things, and just a whole bunch of other books that I've read, plus my own ideas that I've been having for characters that I just had to get on paper. So there's like unique powers and things that you can't really see or you don't really see in other media, like stuff that just came out the old noggin. So yeah, in the story, the way I explained it, there's like a lot more to it than people just going missing and alternate realities and monsters and different universes. It just like gets really deep. I wouldn't want to make it a book series because I don't want to write that many books, but at most this would be like a very long book or a duology. Thanks for watching. Bye.